The student athletes?
Sam, can you make any sense of what today means and what?
Absolutely not.
I mean, your journey is, of course, I mean, unlike probably any other in Omaha history for certain. But when you get the call in that situation, nobody out, are you just trying to minimize damage, or are you literally thinking, I'm going to go out there and slam the door on these guys?
I mean, that's exactly what I'm doing. JD always tells us to just go in there and minimize damage. I go in there, I throw strikes. That's what I do. So, I mean, I go in there, I throw strikes, I play my game, and I didn't change that mentality.
Good. Sam, you don't pitch very often. So your reaction, you're warming up, or when you found out you're definitely going in the game in that spot, what was going through your body?
That was definitely the loudest crowd I've been in front of. But I mean, I've thrown in other situations that, that wasn't late in the game or anything. Obviously, it's a huge moment. But I mean, I've thrown in other situations that, it's just got to be ready for this moment.
Hey, Sam, talk about your journey here. I mean, walk on, you almost didn't come here at all. You had to go to Sidewinder to get here. Is it just sort of crazy to think that this was the moment, the culmination almost, really, of all your work?
Yeah, I can't believe that having to come back for a fifth year, from what happened my sophomore year, it ended up working out perfectly. So, it's a dream come true, honestly.
Sam, how close were you to saying baseball might not be for me after what happened in 2012?
I already applied to other schools. I was planning on where I was going to live. And I was actually working at an accounting firm, and I decided I didn't want to do this anymore. I didn't want to keep doing that until I got done with college, so I decided to come back, and it worked out perfectly.
When was that?
That was my sophomore year of college. My sophomore year of school. I got cut going in the fall of my sophomore year. Came back and played my junior year. That's why it's my fifth year.
David, talk about Sam. I imagine you played against him in high school, or how long have you known him, and what have you observed about him waiting for an opportunity like this?
Actually, I didn't know Sam at all before I got to school here, but Sam's that guy that comes to the field every day, never complains, always has a great attitude, and he wants the ball in every situation, and we're all so pumped for what he did today, and he was the reason we won this game today.
Willie, what were your thoughts when he got in the game, bases loaded, 3-3? I mean, what are you thinking when the call goes to Sam?
I mean, you could always see somebody's demeanor when they get onto the field, and obviously Sam stays cool, calm, and collected in any situation, whether it be us messing around in the locker room, whether it be on the field. And obviously you saw it today out there with bases loaded and no outs. He looked the same as he always does, so we weren't worried at all. And obviously we had the same mentality, let's minimize damage. But then one guy goes down, the next guy goes down, then you start thinking, wow, this is something special. And then, sure enough, somebody that has worked hard, endless hours, and done so many things, and he could have been doing something else. He like you said, he almost just stopped playing this game completely. And he fought through because of how much he loved it, and just basically what we say here is wear it. And he wore it for a long time, and look how things plan out.
And then the fly ball comes in your direction to end the inning. What are your emotions there?
I mean, I'm a team guy, and I like playing, behind my teammates as much as I can, and I was just showing him, my love for him and for this team. That's it.
Sam, I mean, again, Willie described it perfectly. Were you totally cool? I mean,
on the mound, a lot of people say the same thing about me. I'm always calm, always cool, like at the same time. But I mean, at the end, I definitely got emotional. I mean, like you said, I tried to minimize the damage. When I saw 2 outs, I knew I had a chance to get out of it 100%. So I had to zone in and do a job.
You got emotional after that third out?
Yeah, when the ball was in the air, I was definitely thinking about it. I was hoping it didn't go over the head because it was blowing out to right, definitely. But we camped under and got a little excited, I guess.
How about the strikeouts? So the second strikeout.
Oh, I guess I was still calm at that point just because I knew the situation. I knew 1 out wasn't the difference. I needed to get 3 outs. I needed to go through get the 3 outs, not just one guy. So I was staying calm at that point.
And I also want to ask you, your family you grew up coming to these games, right? And your family comes all the time. Yeah. You knew they were all there. Was that going through, what's that like?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff with my sister, because we used to come to the games with my dad, I think in '99 when they won the championship Tigers, the first year we came. And she's crying. She doesn't know, freaking out because she can't believe I'm actually in this moment. But it's amazing for all them to be here and everything.
What did it feel like for you when you came off the mound to end that inning? I noticed Brian gave you a big hug, and fellow member of the bullpen. What was that moment like?
Yeah, Brian's he's the core of our bullpen. He's our closer. He's the guy we always want to have the ball. He's a leader. He's a captain, and he's definitely. I know he's thinking about this season with me because it's my 5th year. The story that I've had, the journey that I've had, and just I know a lot of these guys. It's a special moment going on.
Willie, that moment at the end when you kind of broke off the dog pile and then went over and saluted the people behind the plate, just what were you seeing, and just kind of what was going through you in those moments?
I mean, that gives me goosebumps, obviously, right here. But I mean, the fans are everything to us. Obviously, that's what we play. We play for them, obviously, as well as our teammates. But I mean, the endless support and the endless love that we get from our fans, and that's just something real special. And we can't ask for anything else. And I'm sure you're going to see plenty of young fans in Omaha.
David, you got all 9 guys in the lineup that started the game. I think every one of you scored. 7 of you had at least 1 RBI. What's that say about where this team is at? Just the balance of this team and how it isn't just 1 or 2 or 3 guys that have been doing everything all year.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, our lineup 1 through 9 has been producing all year. It's just a lot of fun knowing that there's no pressure on one guy. That next, if you fail, the guy behind you is going to pick you up and things like that. But you know, we didn't hit that well yesterday, and we knew today was going to be a different story.
So nice you got that hit, RBI. The hit that drove a 1 or 2 there, but after that kind of crazy strikeout. I know you were upset about that, right?
I wasn't too happy about that, but yeah, I was glad I got to come up in another big situation and produce right there.
Sam, you were trending for a couple hours in Miami. Have you? Do you
My little brother's told me I think every single tweet that's been tweeted right now. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely, my little brother's kind of crazy. A lot of people see him running around here, so he's already probably has more favorited than Sheldon maybe.
Yeah, good quote.
Obviously, this crop of players hasn't been to Omaha yet. What's your message for them going forward here?
Well, we just met as a team and talked briefly about our plans, but you know, congratulate them. But I told them we're getting ready to go to do something that experience something that they've never experienced in their life, that they will remember for the rest of their life. Because as big as this Super Regional is, the situation in Omaha, the scene in Omaha, the publicity, everything that's connected with that 25,000 people at the game, all the things that go with it, the celebration is unbelievable, and they're getting ready to experience something. And I promised them that they would remember the rest of their life, and just congratulate them, get ready to have some fun. But while we're there, we might as well win.
Willie, can you talk about your year, because you got off to a little bit of a slow start, especially power number-wise, and it seemed like the second half of the year it's coming together for you. What's changed, and you feel that power is starting to come for you now?
I had to make a big transition from high school to college, period. You know, I was a different type of player. I grew late in my years. I was always a small guy, and then when I got bigger, I had to basically start filling out my body. And I was able to get here since my freshman year, work with Gino day in and day out. And he never quit. You know, last year, obviously, the power numbers weren't there, and this year when we started, they weren't there either. But we saw a little bit of potential, and obviously, we kept working and working and working, and now it's starting to show a little bit, but we still got a long way to go.
Jim, it's been a long time for you, obviously. You're not accustomed to 7-year waits to getting back there. Just what does this moment, what does this chance mean to you?
Well, it's very special because, you know, I got spoiled just like our fans and everybody else in this program, and it shows the fact how hard it is to get to Omaha. It's a tough thing to do, and there's so many good programs out there that's never been to Omaha, or so many programs that didn't make it to the NCAA tournament this year, period. It just makes you really understand and appreciate the opportunity to go back and play in that type of venue, and for all the marbles, and see you know what it's doing for your players, and it's just a great experience that I guarantee you that everyone will never forget.
What do you remember about the decision to cut Sam in 2012?
That was my pitching coach's decision.
Jim, we heard from Sam and Willie about how confident and calm they were when he was in that situation. What was your position?
You know, my philosophy always been with pitchers is just when they make a pitching change, and it's something that my philosophy when I got here before this is that every time we make a change, try to give them a different look. They had a lot of right-handed hitters coming up, and Sam's definitely a different look to right-hand from sidewinders, and you guys have been around our program know I've always liked to have one of those guys in our program because it gives them a different look. And he went out there and he got those 3 guys. I know we might as well leave him in. Let's stay with us. And a lot of times a sidewinder, you take them out against the left-handers, but and we didn't, and he got them all out. And he had done that one time before recently, so we felt like after 3 innings of that. Probably more than we can ask, considering he hadn't pitched that long a stint, and he had to be getting tired. But I was very excited, just like he was, when he walked off the field after getting those 3 outs the first inning he was out there.
Jim, you had actually warmed up someone different the previous inning. So what made you sort of go to Sam that particular inning in that situation?
We were into another inning, and we were in they had their hitters stacked. 1, 2, 4, 5 were left-handed, and we got past the left-handed hitter, and we had both way up. More long relief to think about those guys. And we got to the right-handed hitter of the lineup, and we're thinking, well, let's see if we can get him out there, and we can get through the lineup. One time we get through the right-handers, and once he did what he did, we said, stay with him. We'll see how long we can go out there to get this done. And that's basically the philosophy at that point.
Sam, what are the mile per hour ranges from the slow end to the high end of what your stuff?
I think at the beginning of the fall, I'm like around 80 miles an hour, but I think at this point in the season, I'm probably closer to 77.
That's the top end, and what about the?
I'm like probably 76 to 78. The sliders, honestly, I'm not sure. Probably somewhere in the high 60s, I would guess.
What do you think that does to?
I mean, honestly, the deeper I get into the game, it kind of works out for me because I kind of get a little tired after slower, which kind of works out because the ball's going to move more. It's going to be harder to hit. So.
What do you think that does to hitters when they're seeing that?
It's something frustrating, I'm sure. It was the same thing with last night.
I hit off of Sam, and
It's a lefty, like, doesn't count.
it's still a pain.
Yeah, Willie's not a fan of the sidearms. He was only facing me and Cooper. But, I mean, I just know if I go through strikes that if they're probably going to roll over, they're probably going to be out in front of it, which works out for me.
Jim or David or Willie, you guys have been great at home this season, but on the road you've struggled. What's it going to take to kind of change that trend?
You're asking me?
Anyone.
I mean, this is a crowd. I mean, it's impossible. Let me answer that question. And the reason we're on the road, we're in the ACC, tremendous conference. It could possibly be at the end of this weekend going to the World Series, 4 ACC teams and 4 SEC teams in the lineup, and that's basically what we play. It's ACC and SEC teams, and so tremendous league. You got a team like Virginia that had to do a play-in to get into the ACC tournament. That probably going to end up going to the World Series, and Maryland's got to beat them twice. They had to play in just to have the right to play into the ACC tournament. And here they are, a great chance to go to Omaha. It's a great league. It's a great league. And when you go on the road and win a couple games, of course, we won our division, which is pretty good. And this game, you don't win every single game. You don't win every single game. You just got to win most of them. And you got to win the ones you're supposed to. And this team did things like went to Pittsburgh when you're supposed to win on the road and swept and did some of those things. It's tough going on the road and winning. But we're going to a neutral site. But I know a lot about Omaha. These guys don't. If there's 25,000 people there, 23,000 are going to pull against us because of our football program. University of Nebraska. One of them be a guy probably named Sean Eichhorst, if I had to guess. I'd be pulling against us.
Boom.
With being there since he's in Nebraska now. But they never forget the football thing. They never forget that. So it's still a tough situation to play in, but there's no better. No better. I mean, I have former players that play in professional baseball. They say the only way it gets any better is to get into a World Series in the major leagues.
Jim, those Nebraska fans, they're probably not real big Gator or Seminole people either, though, are they?
I hope not. I hope not. They may just, I heard we're playing Florida State for the national championship in '99, and I heard people talking, and they were trying to decide who to pull for between us and Florida State. They decided to rain out. so they're not real big fans.
Jim, what's the schedule? When do you leave to go, or when,
Well, we're looking to probably leave Wednesday afternoon practice, Wednesday morning practice, Monday, Tuesday. I know Tony's trying to get that taken care of, but we'll leave Wednesday or Thursday, and then the opening game Saturday against the winner of the Florida State Series.
How do you feel about that?
I'm glad to be there.
Right.
I'm glad to be playing, and whoever it is. So, I'm just excited about being back. I can tell you that Suarez will start opening game, and he's got a chance to beat anybody.
Is Sosa available for CWS as far as you know?
I'm not sure right now.
Sam, they list you as 5'10" and 5'11", excuse me, and 180. What's your height and weight?
5'11". Probably more like 5'10".
5'10", and about how much do you weigh? Last time you weighed?
175.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else? Okay, guys, thank you.